Welcome to Istanbul Airport. Over 1.4 million square miles of terminals, shopping, runways, planes. The place is genuinely huge. They really should just offer tours. Anyway, let's do a little walkthrough so you can get the lay of the land. Once you clear security, you will be greeted with this. When we walk in, we're going to take an immediate left, which will take us to the A, B, C, and D gates. Passes the duty free on the left. Guess what? More shops. This is not the place to come if you have a shopping habit. There's about every designer name under the sun here. Now, if you're a Miles and Smiles member with Turkish Airlines, the lounge is up that way. For you guys, if you're traveling on a business class ticket with Turkish Airlines, you get to use the Business Lounge. We'll cover that a little bit more later. Spent a good amount of time there already. Stick around and see what happens. Some eateries over that way. American cuisines. We've got a Shake Shack, Slim Chickens, which I've never heard of, but I'm guessing they do chickens. There's also Carl Jr.'s way up there if you need a burger fix. I might need a burger fix. Anyway, this place is gigantic, but if you keep walking up to the A, B, and C gates, you'll pass the Yotel Air and the sort of lounge sleep pods. When I arrived, even at about 2 o'clock in the morning, they were completely full. And I may have got this wrong, but I think they said it was 50 euros for the first hour, and then 15 euros for every subsequent hour, which seems extortionate. There's also a main hotel as well, which you can book online and on booking.com and whoever you like to use, trip.com and stuff. If you're going to be coming here and you want to do that, you use the links in my description below. That would actually really help the channel out. It doesn't cost you anything more, but I'd really appreciate it if you did. As we keep walking up, more shopping, more food, Sunglass Hut, just like every good airport has. There's even a chocolate bar and restaurant, if that's your thing. For those that need their Nick fix, there are a bunch of lounges on the gate side, which we'll walk around to now. They're kind of cool in that you are outside their terraces. It's all fenced in and everything, but you do get to get a pretty good view of the planes if that's your thing. If you can stomach the smell of smoke. We get up to the lifts. There's even more downstairs. This is the far left of the terminal if you come in through the main security where the A and B gates are located. There's a lift and an escalator if you need it. Food court. The airport has 153 shops, 108 restaurants. It is truly vast, but it doesn't feel particularly big. It just feels busy. When I arrived at about 2 o'clock in the morning, it was actually pretty quiet, but now, just gone 6 a.m. passenger count is picking up and it is getting really busy. It feels just kind of like being in a really big mall. A bit stressful if you're someone who doesn't like crowds, but it's also quite a spectacle. Ooh. Finally saw some pilots and cabin crew. Just thinking how I've been at this huge airport that serves the most countries in Europe and I hadn't seen a single pilot. Right, we're now back at the Miles and Smiles Lounge. It's opposite the Godiva Cafe and Cartier and next to the duty free. Now, it's laid out exactly the same as the Business Lounge, but you should know the lifts and things are for accessible purposes only, for wheelchair users and disabled. There's a escalator around the corner. It's the exact same for the Business Lounge, which we'll go to next. Main entrance from security. Okay, now we're heading as if you were to turn right from security on your way through. It's a bit of a mirror of the other side, just some different shops, different duty-free things. This is really cool, by the way. Just there, you can get connected to a live support member of staff if you're completely lost or can't figure things out, which is quite likely because the place is gigantic. I'll walk over this way and show you the Business Lounge entrance for assisted passengers. It's a bit confusing because it does look like it would be the main entrance. It's the most forward-facing and customer-facing one, but in fact you just keep walking along this way and head towards the D and E gates and hang a left. You'll find the escalator that takes you up to the top. Just look for that sign. That'll see you good. So we've got the E gates back there, and then right at the end, just as we had the A gates right at the other end, the F gates right down here on the other side. Those little robot things are so cool. You basically put your gate number in or your flight number in, and that directs you to the gate that way. Really cool use of technology. It's not very quick though, so I don't know if it's any faster than just walking around yourself. And we have viral sensation Salt Bay's restaurant.
Yes.
Is he there? This airport reminds me of Las Vegas. I don't know if it's in a good way or a bad way, but it has that vibe of just buy, spend. Immaculately clean for the most part. It's vast. And kind of like Vegas, it's been built just to show off more than anything. It's functional, but it's been built to show off. Kind of surprised to find shops that are closed or spaces that aren't taken at the moment. Seems like this is where everyone would want to be. Right, I've got the Brewmark pub here if you want a beer. Some of the restaurants they've done really well. That's another thing that makes it feel a bit like Vegas. You can find a restaurant that makes you feel like you're anywhere in the world, which is very apt for an airport, I think. All right, we made it to the other end, the F gates. There's also G gates that way, but I think that's part of the domestic terminal. We'll head on down now on the ED&C gate side. There's not much to see unless you're really into plane spotting, because the one thing they've done here is built a terminal where you can really get a good view of the planes. From a plane spotter's point of view, it's a great airport. Sure, you see a lot of Turkish Airlines A320s and A321s, but there's some other cool stuff here as well. And because it's such a huge airport and such a huge hub, you get aircraft from all over the world. It's really not hard to spend a day here, which consequently is exactly how long I have. But there really is a good amount to do. The only thing I haven't seen that I kind of feel like it's missing is a gym. Not that I use a gym. And you could just walk around to get plenty of exercise like I've been doing. But it does feel like that's something that's been overlooked a little bit. But I really am just being nitpicky. It's got just about everything you can need. There's another little area where you can get some decent sleep if you need it, as long as you're not claustrophobic. Okay, so the D gates are down that way, but if you move along a little bit, you've got the IGA sleep pods. These things are pretty cool, but they're not cheap. It is 17 euros per hour between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. and 12 euros per hour after that. I almost forgot to mention, if you have little ones with you, opposite where those sleep pods are, by the D gates, it's a whole little kids area. Pretty new, pretty clean, probably pretty expensive, but keep the kids busy. If you have a long layover, it's not a bad shout. You know what, if you're self-competitive like I am, and you have an Apple Watch, you'll easily get your steps in, easily. Now, if you're looking for somewhere to take a nap but you don't want to pay, there are these little nap zones, which are really just slightly reclined chairs. These "where is my gate" things are all over, so you can put your gate information in, and it'll tell you. Not necessarily in the best English, but it does the job. Right, and so here's the business lounge. It really is huge. It's a terminal to itself, and that has its pros and cons. This is the luggage storage, which is a huge plus, especially if you have a long layover, which they're anticipating, since they'll allow you to book very long layovers at the airport. Over here is the business center. with free to use computers. And there's these business pod things which are getting a little worn. And as far as I can see, there was only, I think, 2 seats that had USB power that worked. And you absolutely need to know that not every chair has power. In fact, very few really do. There's a few that have floor power, some have some wireless charging, but really it's not very good as far as connectivity goes. Some more seating here. Everything just overlooks the main terminal. So keep this in mind if you have a long layover here. There is lots of seating, although it does get busy, but not one chair is ideal for sleeping. I had an overnight 15-hour layover and I've had 2 hours sleep, which is just not quite enough. Here is the grand piano. Playing by itself. And down here we've got the showers and the concierge, as well as the private suites. You all remember how much I love an airport shower. I think Istanbul's gonna take it. This is amazing. It's marble everywhere. Marble all over the airport, but marble everywhere in here. Got a bathrobe, a whole bunch of toiletries, vanity kit, shower cap, hairdryer, slippers. Might just sleep in here. I have an incredibly long flight ahead of me with Turkish Airlines, so this is a great opportunity to get refreshed and get ready for a decent sleep here in the lounge. So here's the thing with the Turkish Airways Business Lounge. It's mostly style and not a ton of substance. What I mean by that is it looks great, it photographs well, it makes for great content, but it doesn't feel like a lounge. It feels like its own terminal with slightly more entitled people. It's a nice place to be, even for 15 hours, so don't get me wrong. However, when I've been out to the main terminal, it's been just as nice. It's even more spacious. It's got far more in terms of food options and things like that. I don't really care if something's live cooked, and all food at some point was live cooked. Earlier this morning when I arrived, there was very little to choose from. The golf sim they've got is a great example. It looks cool, it videos well, it makes good content. But there's 3 clubs, they're all right-handed, so if you're a lefty like me, there's absolutely nothing you can do apart from play backward. The flight simulator thing they have is fine, but that's not really doing much for anyone. I'd far rather have more than 4 chairs, or 3 or 4 chairs in the entire lounge that would be slightly horizontal to sleep on. There is nowhere to sleep. The USB ports all over the business area are completely broken. I think there's about 2 that are working and operational. I finally got to sleep this morning at about 4:30 a.m. on a little armchair somewhere. It wasn't 40 minutes before one of the staff were waking me up because it was morning time. And so as a result, I've had about 2 hours total sleep now, trying to get some sleep on these pretty awful chairs. This is a really cool display. They used to have something in here, like football shirts or something, soccer shirts. This is way more appropriate for an airport lounge, aviation themed. No, this is really great too. Look. So they've got models of the aircraft they flew. You can even pick up copies of little postcards. I don't know how long this display is on for, but if you're coming here anytime soon, I recommend checking it out. It's really interesting. Do you think they'd mind if I took sort of one of all of them? Right, it's time to head out. 15 hours done at the Turkish Airlines Business Lounge. Right, I hope someone found that helpful. A little bit of a rundown of what to expect at Istanbul's huge airport. I could spend all day going through everything that is here. This will let you know roughly where to go when you have a flight. If it's been helpful, if you like this kind of thing, do subscribe. I do loads of flight reviews and things like that. I'd love it if you did and came along for the ride too. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.